Hey, ooh, what's going on?
Hello, everybody.
We're back. We're back with more Zelda. There's a balloon thing over there. Is that a balloon thing? I don't know. Whatever.
But he wanted Sunderlions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Still hanging out in Terrytown.
It's going up here.
Hi everyone, welcome back to ADHD Simulator.
I love the disco hair on this one right here. Look at that. That's crazy.
They're actually recurring characters from Breath of the Wild.
Oh.
The
Did you
lady with
say-
the fro is like a sand seal riding champion, and the other lady
Oh.
is her manager.
I remember that. I remember that. God. I've forgotten like so many of the side characters.
Oh. Oh.
In Breath of the Wild, Tally was a lady of very few words,
Mhm.
but in this game she's a little bit more talkative.
Hmm.
Let's see. Do they leave any control sticks that they just are completely oblivious to?
They won't count the vehicle unless you use the control stick they give you. Oh wait. Sorry, I'm thinking of the second part of this quest. No, you do need to find a control stick for them.
When are we gonna have a Zelda cart? I want that. I want that to be a thing.
I mean,
Find it.
Link is in Mario Kart.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know what I
Try
want.
the steering
You know
stick.
what I want. I want a game where you build your own vehicles like this, and then just race against everybody.
Yep, you just glue it on. I don't know
Nice.
how it works either.
It's magic.
It's Bluetooth.
It's Bluetooth. They're still more green to me. Maybe aqua. I don't know. How'd you?
It's gray goo technology. It figures out a way to integrate itself.
Oh, it's JC technology. Yeah,
Oh shit! He's right. It was made in Canada.
that's how mine.
It's Bluetooth. God damn it. Chad.
Bluetooth. Perfect. Fund it. Bluetooth.
GG's way of making technology is just lick a maple leaf and put it on put wood on it. Yes, Canada. Canada was mentioned. How's Canada today on your end of the world?
I don't know how it's Canada.
Is it still on fire?
It's still.
I think it still is, but
Yeah.
we're pretty okay.
I'm pretty sure we're more on fire than we're generally more on fire than Canada is.
I mean, our previous president is currently Why am I getting political? Why am I
Why
immediately
are
bringing
you
us around to political stuff?
Yeah, we're like. I mean, we're what like 10 minutes in.
It happens, guys.
Look, man. I watched like 2 illegal videos, and now I'm just like, oh, the politics, the scheming, the plots, the all the
treachery.
things.
The drama.
The drama. It's like Game of Thrones, but less dragons, and you know.
People are so much more reticent.
You know, that was something I interesting topic right the other day. I was talking to someone about. It said, yes, GC, you haven't wrote a book yet, but what got you back in the writing? I just realized, you know what? It's not just because of all the stuff I read online, but I just realized when Game of Thrones was over, I think I said this years before, but Game of Thrones was actually a pretty awesome series until the end. And I said, man, if only George R. Martin finished his book at the end of the series, this probably would have had an awesome ending.
Mm.
And I said, GC, what if someone said, well, GC, what if you wrote the ending? And I'd say the zombies just take over the world. Everybody dies. The end.
Cool. You know,
All
It
your
would
hard
probably
work for
been more
nothing.
satisfying.
I like the interview where George R. Martin and Stephen King were on stage together.
Yeah.
George R. Martin was like,
that's
"How the
right.
hell do you write like a new book every 8 months or something?" And Stephen King's just like, "Oh, you wake up, you sit down, you write like 30 pages or something, you get it for lunch, and then you edit those 30 pages, and you do that, 5 days a week or whatever." And George R. R. Martin's like, "Are you kidding me? I wake up, I stare at the computer, I write 10 words, I erase them, and then I go lie down and cry to myself for the rest of the day."
Oh no! See, that's me. George R. R. Martin's my spirit animal.
Mm.
You know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He looks like he needs to have like a grizzled pirate accent, like an old sailor accent.
He
Just the way-
does. Yeah, his voice is so like.
Yeah. His voice is not the way he looks. Yeah,
Mm.
you want him to be like just have like a pipe in it, like an ivory pipe in his mouth, going. You remember when the sea was treacherous to me? You know, just shit like that.
I think someone once mentioned George R. R. Martin is Death Note Santa, and I said that's actually a funny description of him. But yeah, I can't wait to. That was one of the things that got me into thinking more like with a creative writing perspectives after Game of Thrones, and I appreciate that. It's funny too because I said to myself, if Game of Thrones had a good season at the end, would I still be saying what I'm saying today? I don't know. Ashley says Stephen King used to say he has diarrhea of the imagination.
Yeah,
Huh?
I don't want to think about that.
Hmm.
I don't know. Too late. I thought about it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Does that make it a pap smear of the mind?
What
What about the child? Oh, actually, no. I'm going to say Chucky, but Stephen King did Chucky. Jeez, Hugo. Hmm. Nah. That's just a dog. Stephen King loves dogs. They're booping Miller because he got political. All right, we'll get Horse West ready for you. Get ready.
I want just 20 minutes of non-stop NPC characters from these games just make going. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure the Foley editor had to listen to that for a couple weeks, editing all of it together.
Good things aren't called Demon Kings.
The game lead knocks on the office. Hey, everything going okay in there? Oh,
Meat stew. Megalomania is quite political. I've been listening to a lot of the, if anybody has seen the Don't You Lecture Me With Your $30 Haircut website, I've been listening to a lot of songs on that on YouTube because they're all very funny to me. And Megalomania is a very common one that people do.
Nice.
It's a web app that it's a music synthesizer, but instead of using like normal note ligatures,
I never even saw him over here.
you use emotes and emoji.
How is that even a valid sign? It's just...
Look, it shows 2 Hudsons. It's a double sign.
How do you know he's not just messing with you at this point? You know, I mean,
I've done all the signs, and he never drops the like "I love Hudson" act.
well, I know that. I'm just, you know, I'm saying it for comedic effect. Big funny Miller.
Oh my God, Jonas, you're so funny.
You
Goddamn
have a
right
funny
I am.
bone.
That's right. I have all the funny bones. My entire skeleton is made of funny calcium. I should mention I'm a little like loopy and tired today because I got like 4 hours of sleep because the sun's coming up. Okay, right now the sun's like just setting over. No, it's not even set yet. It's and it comes up at like 5 a.m. and I have a sleep mask, but sometimes apparently I toss and turn a lot, and sometimes I'll wake up with my sleep mask like half off my face, and
you know, if blackout curtains. That's what
I
use.
know, I really should. God, but yeah. So the angry sun from Mario 3 just kicked my ass, and you know. At least it's been mild temperature-wise.
For now, knock on wood.
We'll see. I've been hearing predictions it's gonna be a mild summer up here, but we'll see. I mean, if it gets bad, I'll deal with it.
Is it an El Nino year?
What?
Is it an El Nino year?
Oh, I thought you said this is the new year. I'm like, well, I sure hope so. Not it's running late. I don't know actually. The heat isn't the real problem when it gets hot up here. I mean, you get like a couple. You get like a week in the 90s, and then like maybe one day where it's really hot. But the problem is that surrounding areas that get less rain, like on the dry side, become these big tinderboxes, and when smoke on the West Coast does its thing. When there's a lot of it, like they usually some up in BC and then some in Oregon. This area can be kind of like a vortex. Like it'll just kind of pool around Puget Sound, and it can get a little gnarly. But you know, whatever. I've survived all 10 plagues at this point. It's fine.
Arcus Fellas is correcting me for saying El Nino instead of La Nina.
How dare. Honestly. Miller's from Texas. He only knows Spanglish.
Yeah. Hey, donde el baño?
Necesito los enchiladas. All right, anyway.
Yo quiero un cerveza, por favor.
Jesus.
My mother proudly claims that that's the only Spanish she knows is "I want a beer, please."
Nice. Flo says it's more like Enganish. That sounds like an elven language or something from like Middle Earth.
Ah, you are from the planet of Engan. You speak Enganish. Miller's from America. We speak Taco Bell.
You look like no.
Yo, can I get a chalupa and a quesadilla?
Jesus. What's the big Mexican chain in Texas? I don't actually know.
I mean, we have
it-
Taco Bell, but
Yeah, Taco
like,
Bell. Okay.
everyone knows it's not good Mexican food. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
the thing that's open at like 3 a.m.
yeah. It's McMex, just like Panda Express is McChinese.
Mm-hmm. I don't know actually. What is like the one that people go to? Chipotle, maybe?
Is it Chipotle? Well, Chipotle's not even really Mexican.
I'm trying to think the one that's like everywhere. Like if I want like actual Mexican food, I will either go to a place near me that's literally called Taco Joint, or I will go to Rosa's Cafe.
There was so much good cheap Mexican in LA. Oh my god. Like we get like me and Stoker, we go out, we get these like brick-sized burritos, and then that would be like dinner, and then like breakfast, and maybe a little bit left for lunch. It was good. And I put ketchup on it because I'm a bastard.
Or if I wanted to get like nice Mexican, I would go to Abuelo's because I used to work there.
Nice. We're talking about food again.
Oh.
Yeah, California has this weird thing about burritos that could feed a small family. I don't know how that started. I have been told that it is not a Mexican thing to have burritos that big.
No, I don't even think burritos are a Mexican thing.
Burritos are a Mexican thing. I just they're more like palm sized from what I've seen. You know.
Oh.
I kind of burn out Chipotle because still we get it a lot, and also like when it's that big and you've got like super thin tortillas and it's full of like sauce and sour cream and stuff. You're not going to make it to the end. You're either going to be you either have to like give up and just dump it in a bowl, or like use your hands to reinforce the structural integrity as you're making your way through it. Like that burrito, that ship's gonna sink. Okay, that burrito is the Titanic.
Okay, now burrito was from Ciudad Juarez,
Oh, okay.
supposedly. No, I'm thinking of what was the other thing I saw today that was like pepperoni's not Italian. It was a thing invented by Italian immigrants in New York.
Yeah, and like that there's a lot of that. Like, stuff like General Tso's chicken is just completely American. It's a copy of an interpretation. I mean, it happens. That happens with just about every kind of ethnic cuisine adapted to American palates. Even Thai food apparently is rather different in Thailand. Like they use a lot more fish sauce over there. Apparently, that's what I've been told. I haven't actually had proper Thai cuisine. And Caesar salad wasn't really invented by Caesar,
Caesar salad. Oh no. Nah.
The Hawaiians didn't actually have tiki bars on their island.
They didn't actually invent Hawaiian punch, I know this is tough, but it's the truth.
Kamehameha did not shoot energy blasts out of his hands.
Okay, now you're going too far. How dare you? How dare you?
Kamehameha, what now?
King Kamehameha.
King Kamehameha. That sounds like a real name.
It was.
Yeah,
It was
it was.
the first king, last king of Hawaii.
I think the last king. Hold on, let me.
First king.
Oh, he's the first king. Okay.
Oh, there
okay.
really is a king named King Kamehameha. Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Dragon Ball did not come up with that term. It is very much akin to saying abracadabra before you cast your attack.
Actually, there is. Well, that might be true. There is actually a Japanese like term for that. Let's see what it is.
For
I can't believe I forgot what the Kamehameha stands for. Wow. Turtle Destruction Wave. That's right. Actually, now that I think about it, I keep forgetting. Is that? Oh man. One second. I sort of forgot something about that word. 1 second here.
I want to just roll up to the opposite one of these. Can you imagine? I just want to do that. Take up like 3 parking spots.
But yeah, I'm sure that name wasn't named after the King Hawaii.
Hmm.
Oh.
No, Caesar salad is called that because it was made by a chef named Caesar in like the 1950s in SoCal
Yeah, that sounds
or
about
Baja,
right.
California, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Damn it. It really was based off the pun of the Hawaiian King. Wow.
You didn't know that? Okay.
I did not know that. I'm sad. Thanks, Miller.
Well, now you learned. Now you know.
And knowing is half the story. Dun 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 dun. See, the thing is, I gotta be honest, I don't really know my puns. And I really thought the Kamehameha had it.
Yeah, I was like, are you really surprised? Like, has Dragon Ball ever come up with a thing on its own?
Yeah,
The original Dragon Ball was just Journey to the West.
Through the West.
Then Dragon Ball Z is just Superman. Like a superpowered person fell in a spaceship and is an alien, but didn't know it, and now his like alien family is coming to get him or something.
Yeah.
That became more obvious with the Super Broly movie, to be honest. But originally, it was more. I'm not sure where how he got the space concept down. I'm trying to think back on it now. Man.
Home planet was destroyed. He escaped in like an escape pod. He was the only one, but not really the only one.
Yeah, there were more.
Breeze, yes, was starting to show vibes that people were telling me back then. But at the same, I was saying to myself, like, well, where did the costume concept come from then? And the Ginyu Force was clearly a pun on superheroes. That part I know.
Yeah, that was just making fun of like Super Sentai shows in general.
Yeah. God.
But I have to admit, a lot of puns on the show kept on going over my head. I can't believe the Kamehameha was one of them.
Well, yeah, Flo, I am wildly oversimplifying, of course.
But yeah, that's what it was back then. Like back when I first read about it, it was back when I was in high school. The Kamehameha was something like, from what I read, was actually the translation of it was Turtle Destruction Wave. But now I did another look at it, and it's a pun.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Well, DBZ loves its puns.
Toriyama loves his puns. Yes,
Alright.
I know.
Have you ever taken a picture of a Sundelion? Can you get your scanner on that?
I do not think I did take a picture. So. Oop.
Oh, trust me, Arcus. Like, when I read about the history of Japanese manga back in like around 1980s, a lot of manga artists apparently back then thought that gag kongs were the new thing back then, and they went down the town. There's a bunch of stuff like that back then. Let's see. There were, of course, Toriyama went to town on that, but there were other. I'm trying to think of what other comic artists did that kind of thing.
There's like a zillion.
Yeah, it was like most of Japanese stuff is there's a lot of puns based on it.
There's a whole storytelling formula about that. Like,
What one of the ones I always think about is Farfetched. That its name and its design is based off of like a Japanese adage about a duck comes to you with its own leak.
right. God.
But they couldn't really communicate that across in English, so they had to be like, it plays fetch with its stick. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of many pun compromises that happened for Pokemon. Apparently, there was a lot of stuff that just
It's more like they translated it literally because they knew what the reference was and what the saying is translates directly into English as something being far-fetched.
Okay, all right.
It's an unlikely scenario. So the idea of something being far-fetched is a similar adage.
Even Toshinobu Oba, the writer of Death Note, I remember, did Bakuman. That was something. Not so much as a gag comic, but there were. He wrote some other series back then that were sort of the gag territory. But Bakuman came a little close to that kind of territory.
Wow, what the heck? Why are you not picking up any?
Guess there's just none up here. I have to go.
Are they just not on the Great Sky Island? Do you have to go to other Sky Islands?
I knew there were some on the Great Sky Island. I just have no idea at what point. Actually, since I'm up here...
Since you're on the night rod.
I remembered seeing this during the when I was initially up here.
Get blammed.
Get blamed. Get dunked on.
Get dunked on, kid.
And I'm not finding any Sunderlines up here.
No, I think you need to go to places that aren't the Great Sky Island.
And I've gotten a lot of...
But you got a lot of islands that you don't have any markers on. That whole west area is all empty. Now here's what I wonder. Can you ask can you ask that construct to start the diving challenge? Have him teleport you up there and then just not do it, just fly off in a different direction, or will he be like, you're gone outside the area?
Let's see. Let's go this way.
Hmm.
Oh, lots.
Damn it. No, Frederick. Rick has not gotten the Hateno hat yet.
I need more Sunderlines.
Hmm. You might have a better shot teleporting up to the Wind Temple and then trying to fly down from there. So I think that's a lot higher up.
I don't think that'll help.
Mm.
I want to take one of the Skyview towers. Since I come down here, I need to might as well Collect the free stuff it gives me. Whee.
That actually looks like it'd be a lot of fun. Hey, chat. I'm just curious. Have any of you ever been skydiving? And is it fun or is it terrifying, or both?
Yes.
You have?
I've been indoor skydiving.
Oh, okay.
I've done that twice.
They have a thing over at the mall over here where I could do that. A big column thing where you can just sort of bob up and down inside like a giant hairdryer. But I don't know if, I mean...
There's
I
one
guess
not
that-
too far from here, and I know there were some people
Hey,
who were at
this place is
TFF that were
also
doing it
low
in
gravity.
fursuit.
Ow.
So like they would wear the flight suit that they had to wear that the place gave them, but then they'd wear their fursuit head.
Nick.
Whee. I know.
God damn it, Ty, why am I not surprised? Stage 1 complete. Stage 2 ready for launch. Stage 2 ignition, launch. Stage 2 complete. Maximum height reached.
Oh, I still have a moment to go. Okay. Time to head for the orb.
Or...
FedEx says, remember, all the best world building needs at least one fucked up floating sphere.
Not just a regular one, but a fucked up floating sphere.
Yeah. What world building has that? There's, is it Event Horizon? What's the one where they had a device that was like, hey, we can travel faster than light by going through hell?
Yeah, that
that's
was Event
right,
Horizon.
Event Horizon.
God, that movie. That movie. I saw that in the theater. My friend Chris convinced me it would be good. And I thought, okay, Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne. You know, what could go wrong? Looks like the Death Star. You flying over the Death Star? You're flying over the Death Star, aren't you? See, now you're flying into the Death Star. Why would you do that?
Have to do the trench
Yeah,
run.
this one. It's a mirror puzzle.
Oh boy. Whee. Okay. Hmm. Guess he needs
Start with the source we have.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Hmm.
Orb.
Mhm.
Gotta get an orb from the GDQ crowd.
Or...
take those orbs. Oh,
There were a few good runs this time, but I wasn't feeling it as much. Though it was nice to see them all in person again. I think having hotfix like every week kind of diminishes the actual event a little bit. Not, not that I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, I haven't been watching GD because it's 2016. I guess it's getting a little old.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to distinguish what you would do at the event that you're not doing at hotfix.
I mean,
Like, are there certain kinds of like task runs or showcase runs that you won't do on hotfix?
that I don't know. I mean, probably. I'm not even sure what I've always wanted to go, but I'm not even sure what I would do during the stretches where there's nothing I care about being played. Like, maybe I'd go, I don't know, go grab some friends and check out. Where is it? Like Minneapolis
Go
or something?
for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah. Go Cocoa for, but yes. Very deliberately. Specifically for the Cocoa Puffs. Do it for the Cocoa Puffs.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. You go do touristy stuff.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, maybe they've got like side rooms where you can play games yourself. That's probably what I would do.
Man, that's what I do at a lot of fur cons is I go find the tabletop room and I go play Magic for a bit.
Crystal mentioned some of the games, but I never actually got a chance to go check them out, unfortunately. Busy waiting in line for 10 million years.
It wasn't 10 million years.
I know.
It was only like 90,000.
Yeah, it was okay. Fair enough. Well, one nice thing about the modern era is that now that we all have, little phone-based internet portals that we can just, get absorbed in, there's no more like awkward line talk and making friends. I mean, when I was doing Forgotten in the 90s, and even the 2000s, there was no escaping it. Like because so much. I mean, I think that they had like basic ass terminals for registration, but so much more of the process was analog and slow. So like, it would take a while, and even with cons where it's like maybe 500 people at most, it would still take a while, and you would inevitably like have to find something to do and just avoid eye contact. Otherwise, you would whoever's in front of you would start awkwardly just like start a conversation like as if you were already having a conversation. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, people go to the fur cons to socialize.
No.
And they have to stand in line for an hour and a half.
Unacceptable
They're gonna
socialization.
try to do the thing they came there to do.
No one is allowed to socialize.
And fur cons are literally the last place where anybody's gonna have shame about anything. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. It's just disconcerting when it's somebody who you don't know at all, who you have no context with, and they just start talking to you like, hey, we're both in the same location and next to each other, and have this theoretical context. Let's start from there. I mean, I'm a diehard introvert, but
Star fragment staff.
hey, does that mean you can like stick a star fragment on it and start kicking ass?
Oh,
It means you can stick a star fragment on it and start shooting light. That's all it does. It shoots light. It does not do much damage.
Oh,
I would suggest taking that to the break apart station at Terrytown.
Probably. Get a free star fragment out of it.
There's also a chest in here. In this orb puzzle. I think there was. Is it? Is there a thing just a bit above you?
When I go to
Those are
next
more
con,
mirrors.
when I go to my next con, I'm just gonna wear a shirt that says no. Just big, big fat letters. No.
I mean, there's that over there. Cage.
Uh-huh.
Someone's gonna be like, "Sure, you don't mean yes," and I'll be like, "Look, buddy."
But how are you gonna get in there? Fox
You
says
know.
he wants a shirt like that as well.
If I could you pay me to it? No.
Is there anything
That's
down?
part of the deal. They only make one, and only I can have it ever. That's how it works.
Your shirt says you're not allowed in my antisocial social club.
Exactly.
Telenu says, are you able to just take out a light and point it at the sensor? Like a normal headlight is not powerful enough. You need light from a mirror. Somehow the mirrors also concentrate light. So even normal daylight will become these like beams that if you flash it across an enemy's face, they'll get blinded temporarily.
You know, I've seen movies where that's like a trope, like these mirrors somehow concentrate sunlight into this extra destructive beam, and I'm just thinking like, I'm not sure that's how it works.
That's literally how some solar power works.
Yeah, so your
You don't
face
use
works.
photovoltaic cells, you use all the sunlight concentrated to a single exposed piece of piping that has like oil or molten salt running through it, and it heats it up to many, many, many thousands of degrees Celsius.
All right,
And you use that to generate electricity.
Miller, do not confuse the issue with facts, okay? That's not what I'm in for, all right? How dare?
We are a fact-denying place. We do not believe in facts.
That's right. Look, have you ever seen a fact? You ever see one, you ever just see one walking down the street? I don't think so, okay? You ever seen somebody, isolate a fact and put it up in a glass case for people to look at and be like, yeah, that's a fact? No, you
Fact.
haven't.
Games enrich life.
Yeah, I guess you're thinking of the Totally Spies thing, where they just completely misunderstand how lasers and mirrors work in a way that probably made at least a few people become very stupid.
Telling me Totally Spies lied to me, Miller.
I'm telling you, Totally Spies was written by somebody who had an inflation fetish. Have you seen that show?
Yes. It's funny. It
No, it
never. Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
Is that no? It isn't.
I mean,
Pretty sure that show was trying to be anime like Sailor Moon.
it was not on my radar when it was on. I only know about it because, like, people have fixated on certain scenes and episodes and such.
Admittedly, I don't think I've ever seen an episode of it. The best way I know of it is because I remember playing a Totally Spies platforming Flash game on the CartoonNetwork.com website many times when I was young.
Long time
I
ago.
played a lot of Flash games when I was young. I beat Motherlode at least 10 times.
Never played a lot of Flash games when I
Let's
was
get up
young.
there.
There was a time when I wanted to learn Flash because I was convinced it was going to be like the next big thing. And now it is.
Well, it was for a
100%.
while.
Yeah, that's true. It kind of was. And it got like utterly deprecated.
And now you can learn Unity.
Yeah, working on it.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to set up the sign-ups stuff for us.
Yeah,
For
and we should. Yeah,
Game Jam.
and we should do a dry. No, maybe not like a dry run, but we should practice a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just go through the pipeline so it feels a little more familiar. I mean, I know it at this point, but like, I feel like it couldn't hurt.
Yeah. We also probably need some discussion about what things we want to do different from last year.
Yeah. Don't worry. This year you've got something.
Because I know, Rick, you said you were, like, very overworked by the end of it last time. You had gone through, what, a gallon of coffee or something?
Holy shit.
Not a gallon of coffee.
Wow. Nice. Gonna assume that was over the course of well, I guess 48 hours.
It was not a gallon of coffee. It was one of those entire... It was a bottle of chameleon cold brew.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, I will absolutely
I
do
mean,
everything.
it might be equivalent to a gallon of coffee, but...
I think that's like a liter. I don't know. But no, I will absolutely do everything I can to provide like support and relief when possible, because that is definitely something that should be a
Oh,
group
geez.
effort.
That was the Flash game. I remember. Gunbound. Everybody ever play that one?
Yeah, I played Gunbound.
That was pretty interesting back then.
Alright, Jonas.
What?
You're on writing duty.
What happened?
You're on writing duty. Give us the flibbly gibbliest give a little one that you
Oh,
ever can.
I don't know if you want me writing that game. especially you don't want me writing the dialogue.
I want you to write the dialogue, and I want Sean Chiplock to VA it.
Oh my god, no! We don't want to torture Sean with that. Why would we do that?
Say what now?
He's gonna end up hating us. No. Miller wants me to write terrible dialogue and then have Sean say it. God.
We'll have Sean and Maxie both come in and do VA.
It's a surface nice. I thought Slicker slit you, slurper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could have said it better myself. God. No, it would be some Lewis Carroll shit.
Therefore, Saving Joe was so terrible face.
Like, everyone would hate me. Then again, I suppose video games don't have to make sense.
You know, plot in video games is like plot in porn. You expect it to be there, but it doesn't really need to be important. John Carmack, 19... What did he fucking say that? Like 93?
Did he actually say that? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's like plot in video games is like plot in porn. You expect it to be there, but it doesn't need to be good. What about porn video games? Well, those don't need any plot at all.
Dear God. I have like zero motivation to play that kind of stuff. Stoker enjoys such things, but
tried them, and I found out that the ones that are less sexual, more romantic, I have more enjoyment in.
Yeah, I can see that. Sure.
It keeps pointing me towards Sundallions. I never find any.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one right here? Is that a Sundallion? And
It
a
is a
second
couple
one.
Sundallions.
Sun delicious. Sunderlands with solar energy.
Yeah, Romero and Carmack were definitely on opposite ends of that. Romero wanted very story-based games, and Carmack wanted very mechanics-based games.
You
So
know,
that's why Romero went to go made Daikatana and whatever else he's worked on.
I think when push comes to shove, I will prefer a good mechanic over a good story when it comes to a game. With with a movie or a TV series, it's the opposite. I will definitely judge it on story merit. But with stuff like this, it's like,
I mean,
okay.
even Zelda right here is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Nobody is really sitting here being like, wow, the story in Zelda's so good. Everyone's like, yeah, it's kind of weak, but it doesn't really matter.
It's
The game itself is good.
I mean, it has some texture. It's just,
Yeah, the story has, a little bit of a bend to it, just like my spine.
It's nice. It's possible to
Here,
like.
10 Sundallions.
It's
I
possible.
missed something. What's up with the low grav jumping? There's just some sky islands that they have low gravity areas around them.
The air is,
Usually it's
really
around the
thick.
orbs. That way you can get up, over, and into them easier.
The air's extra squishy and viscous.
Yes.
It's possible in a game to like completely again, good example right here, to just forget about the main plot for a while and just be off, in the blue yonder, just doing stuff on the side. Whereas with a story, you can only get away with that so long before it starts to feel like you're just meandering,
Yeah, there's definitely some part of that I felt in games like Witcher 3, where you sort of ignore the main story for a while, and then you're just like, wait, what the fuck was I supposed to do again? Was I on a time or something? Like, I've spent like 4 weeks making money so I could buy a home, or I could do this or that. Was I supposed to be rescuing someone or something?
Yeah. Grinding to get having the money for cool leg.
Mm.
Like that.
There are more Sundallions down here somewhere.
Yeah, you say that. Undertale is definitely one of the games that has pretty good mechanics, but a very strong story. And you notice in that game, it does not allow you to sort of skew away from the story, not for long at least.
Undertale is an odd exception. It's kind of genius. And like it took me a while. It actually took me a while to really truly appreciate it. The first time I played it, I don't think I really got it. Like I didn't really get
I got
like,
it like instantly, but I think there's like this disconnect between story and gameplay, and that games that are heavily story based are really more of playable comics, and but you really don't want to have too much gameplay, because if you have too much gameplay, that gets in the way of the story.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, linear narrative consonance is a difficult thing.
I think in general, it's a trick to effectively combine the interactive aspect of gameplay, problem solving, with the kind of fixed trajectory of an emotional narrative, and it's totally possible. People have done it to great effect, but it is complicated. It's definitely two different flavors. Fundamentally speaking, just cognitively.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's definitely some collision from the fact that a lot of games have mechanics that are based in a sort of economy, right? Whether it is literally, money or rupees or something, or whether that economy is like stamina or weapons, right? There's some resource you're expending and then some other thing you're trying to get from that. And then, but the stories don't really follow that kind of thing. They don't really care about sort of exchanges or economies or all this kind of stuff. It's just you trying to follow a lead, usually.
It's possible to make the exchange stuff, that limitation, that metric, part of the story. But yes, inherently, it's not. Yeah, no, you're right.
But then you have games that don't have that exchange, and then they're just walking simulators.
Right.
And walking simulators also have very little gameplay because it's about conveying a story.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating to me that these subgenres exist now. Walking simulators.
Speaking of, have you ever played Firewatch on this stream?
Not on the stream, no.
I've seen someone play that. It looks interesting.
It is interesting. It's a very interesting experience. Finger says, the problem is that gameplay and story should inform one another, a skill that is needed for making a video game. Tell a story in a video game like you do in movies or books, and you run into conflicts all over the place. I mean, that's sort of the reason why the only games that have strong mechanics and strong stories are probably Half-Life and Portal. It's one of those things that only Valve seem to be able to do, and then they stop making video games.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Thing is, like,
I haven't seen anything out of Valve in a while.
Final Fantasy was good at it for a while, but it got too repetitive. And lots of popular franchises like Metal Gear and Final Fantasy and, well, let me see what else. But those two are the ones that come right here. But they pretty much were going to Hollywood with their story. The cutscenes. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So many cutscenes over the years.
Completely talking over that very sweet scene between
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Madison, Hudson, and Rodson.
Oh, I know it's captioned.
Saxa.
And then credits. Wait.
The
Sorry.
end.
But yeah, I do find interactive story to be the best kind of storytelling for games.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely.
Ooh, Silver Ruby. I'm not for Silver Ruby.
I think for me, I'm curious to see where like the trend of games like Spiritfarer and Undertale and games like that and the Woods and so on, where that goes in the next like decade or so, because I feel like there is a direction being established and it's interesting.
Hooray!
I only have 2.
Going back to Croo City, aka girl-only Christian private school. she's gonna get raised by the nativity. Fuck, what is it called? Nunnery. That's it.
Are quite floopy, and its horn goes zwiff.
Wish I had a horn that went swift.
Can't tell how many times I played
How
Final
about
Fantasy.
this picture?
Oh.
Having a camera. Let's see. Is there one in my album?
You do not have any. Doesn't seem like you have any pictures of bokoblins, or else they would light up.
I thought I'd take it from my compendium.
Nope, you need to have it in your album.
Okay.
Can't count the hilarious amount of times I would always play Wheatgrass Final Fantasy Tactics. He always asked me to draw the sword. I'm like, joke's on you, I'm a monk. This is an interactive story, buddy. Crowd trigger you play New Game Plus and you're like, who wants to go for all the story? I just want to fight Lavos right at the start. Level 100. Who needs to go on a journey? And thinking back on it, Ogre Battle, I'm glad it's one of the games I actually didn't buy as a kid, because I would have spent so much time trying to find all the characters in that game, every detail of the story. And when I read about Ogre Battle back in high school, I did not realize how much detail was in that game. How
I
consuming
had
it
so much trouble with Ogre Battle 64.
I still have that. I haven't bet it yet. God damn it. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm almost done though. I didn't realize that its chaos system was a lot different than the original.
I had trouble with it mostly because I just don't like games where you can permanently lose progress if you do something wrong. And like in Ogre Battle, you can't lose a lot of progress by doing something wrong, but there are a couple things that you will definitely be gated out of if you do it wrong.
Exactly. I found out that in the 64 version, one little mistake at Capture the Town hurt you. Didn't really have that problem in the original. It's just either you were the people liked you, or the people hate you, or they were neutral.
Mhm.
Saving the king, or not saving the king, or the prince had
That's
some
close
factors.
enough.
Well,
I'm sure that's plenty of detail.
yeah. saving the gods and saving the royalty was just sort of a side thing for some extra story content. But at least in the original, there was a lot more hints of that kind of thing going on.
I don't even think I've been to the Citadel. Time to kill a lot of people.
Hey! Murder.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not killing people. You're killing monsters. I want murder.
Miller, monsters are people too.
They have faces.
What's that? Now's the vegan explanation for what a person is?
Oh my god. Miller, I don't think these are vegan monsters. They definitely look like they're made of meat.
They're made of guts and bones.
That's
I don't know if any
true.
of that's meat.
Devious Chris has suggested, have you ever seen Food Fight? No, and I don't think I'm missing out on much. Thank you.
No.
I've seen enough of Food Fight.
I've seen like clips of it, and I'm just thinking like, wow, this is what happens when you don't read the fine print.
Did that guy just fall damage himself?
Yes.
You fool.
You fool.
Full of talk.
Is this a fuse or not?
Mhm.
Yes, it is. It has a little outline on it. Okay. So just loop around.
That king took you for a loop there.
Everybody get out of the way.
All right. Now, how? Ah, that's right here. How many rupees do you have right now?
Over 1,000.
If you get 1,500, you can go talk to Ronson and buy a house.
Can't Link just move into his own old place? I mean, Zelda's not using.
It's now Zelda's place.
You got in the divorce.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
She claimed it under eminent domain.
A prone pathway.
I mean, I still prefer the cute interpretation, which is that they just like live together for 6 years or whatever between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I like the horrible interpretation.
Aww. Link has a really bad habit of giving away everything he owns every time the Great Evil has been defeated. That's true. He did also give the Master Sword up. We saw when we went to the Great Deku Tree that he had grabbed it again.
Zelda and Link tried, but he kept breaking her pottery, so she was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
I can't do this anymore. You have this horrible obsession with breaking all of my pottery.
She's like, "I got this really expensive vase. I'm gonna put it in the middle of the room on the dining room table, and then walk out, Link. And when it comes back, I'm gonna see how it looks, Link." Link's just sitting there sweating, like.
Gotta be good, 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 gotta be good.
He's got little sparkles on him.
I've gotta smash it!
That's how it happened.
It's
That's
just
canon.
the SpongeBob thing. If I don't eat it, I'm not gonna smash it. I'm not gonna smash it. I'm gonna smash it! This one bent my brain a little bit, especially trying to get all the chests.
Oh yeah, twisty spatial stuff. Good times. Arkansas says Link blacks out, wakes up face down in the range of an entire room of pottery. Even Pops were there before. Yeah, he goes on a pottery binge. That's what he does when he goes on a bender. He just
The other one.
finds a pottery shop and he's just like, oh, this place isn't sure. That's how he talks.
What else is? Anything else here? Did I get all the chests? Can't even reach that from here. Unless I fly all the way back down. I guess I'm gonna fly all the way back down. Places to stand. Can I stand on that one? I don't even think I can get up there from here. Okay, so try this. Oh, if I keep going, that's just gonna throw me off. No other place to stand here. I have to assume this is built big enough that I can't use this send, but maybe I have to at some point. Like, if I use a send right here, that gets me on
That's
top of the box. Does that help?
Can't hurt. This way, as you can say, you tried.
Oh.
Huh.
Thought it was gonna, like, be harder than that. No.
Nope. Oh no.
It's fine, I can ascend
Well,
again.
yeah, it's
Oh.
a short trip. That's funny.
Just give it a nice energetic leap over the gap. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yes.
You probably could. Oh.
It gave me the it gave me the jingle and it wanted me to do it.
And apparently Valve's making a Counter-Strike sequel. I was curious. I
I
looked
know.
up what Valve was developing, like if there was anything.
I mean, they had Alex that they made most recently.
Yeah. The Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem I've heard is that the way that they've kind of formulated their offices is that they basically, people are allowed to work on whatever they want to. Because they have, you know, fuck off amounts of money. So they don't need to necessarily put out anything themselves. But what ends up happening is people like to make a whole bunch of
There you go.
prototypes and do a whole bunch of little things, but nobody wants to do like testing and polishing and actually getting something into a finished releasable state. And so they have like dozens and dozens of half-finished games.
Yeah.
Alex was one that they basically had to have managers come in to be like, okay, for this one, you actually need to finish it because we need some kind of flagship title for our VR headset.
No, you don't.
Oh no, it's Gloom Hands.
No, you don't. Unless I get something for beating them up here.
I mean, I think you get the same thing you beat from all the Hands and Phantom Ganons, which is just Gloom gear, Gloom weapons,
I don't want any
and
more
some
Gloom
Dark
gear.
Clumps. It's strong, but yeah, you don't really have anywhere to put it right now. Alright, you're heading back to Terrytown. I would say go do the break apart thing for the Star Fragment. Sell some stuff to the store Rito that's there to get to 1500. And then buy yourself a house.
Doot, 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 doot.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Ta-da.
I was in my head. I was going. Anyway,
See, I was thinking more like the baseball thing.
oh, I miss baseball games. I'm gonna do that sometime. It's been years since I've been in one.
I remember when I was younger, we used to have not season tickets, but we would often get tickets to the like local baseball team near us, and which was the Frisco Rough Riders.
Oh,
And they had this thing called the Teddy Roosevelt ticket and Teddy Roosevelt like buffet. And basically it was anytime during the first 7 innings, you just go in and grab whatever you want, and it's like sodas and hot dogs and hamburgers.
oh my god. That sounds dangerous.
And then later on, my mother was working at a hospital that was one of the sponsors for the ballpark. We would get not is it box seats? What's the one where you get like a suite?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forget what it's called though.
Yeah, so we
You
get
get
those, and then
the enclosed
yeah,
deal, yeah.
yeah, it'd be like you have like a personal patio that has like 15 seats to the ball game, but then you also have like a party suite that has like a couch and a TV and
Yeah.
some buffet foods and stuff.
Huh.
This cuddleable monster.
No. He just needs
Its
hugs.
large, swoopy ears and cute, gloofy snoofles.
No, the goofy snoofles don't want to poop it.
And thus they became extinct. The end.
Chat, you guys need to bop Rick on his gloofy snoofles.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah, there's 5 chapters to this.
Nice.
Wait.
He'll also make the monster in whatever pose you took a picture of, and so you could have some very interesting
Oh,
models
God.
if you take a picture of them like in the middle of their knockdown animation or something.
Oh. Ah. Oh.
Hooray.
Oh. Ah. Ah.
Talk to Ronson where you found her earlier. Just to the left of the thing. Yeah.
Oh. Ma.
One dream home, please. What a deal.
Ah.
Huzzah.
Up there.
It's got a view.
It's right there north of Kapora Pass.
Oh.
Oh no, bear got yeeted.
Oh no.
I'm ready, Bear Brains. Flip.
I didn't recognize this was somebody correctly identified this as the house theme from Ocarina of Time.
Oh.
Ah. Ah. Oh. Mmm. Ah. Ah. Mmm.
Let's take a look here.
So you have a foyer, is your like...
2 out of 15, so you can have up to 15.
Yep. I was able to get everything I needed in 15. Marcus Vest says the house is only 2 rooms in the middle of nowhere with no utilities that you have to assemble yourself. Yes, but we own the land. That's the key thing.
That and, you know, Link's got access to a substantial amount of tech. He probably doesn't need to
All right,
worry about.
you go talk to the guy to say you're done.
I'm just checking to see if I want this orientation.
I usually have the foyer facing towards the shrine. That way I just hop down the cliff and immediately walk inside.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Ah.
How do they expect other people to do this?
Probably plank by plank or with a horse towing it around or something, I guess.
Mm.
Ah.
Ah.
Now you can have Hudson's facing a paraglider.
Ah,
Ha 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 ha. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
the
And then just a little clutter.
So what happens when you stack rooms?
Ah. Ah. Oh.
Runner-up says this is pretty cozy.
Yeah.
Can get even cozier.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of the whole
Ah.
squared off cube shaped thing going on.
Okay,
But-
angled room. Furnished angled room. Weapon stand room, bow stand, shield stand. Gallery. I need a kitchen. I don't have any money though. This is all very expensive.
Mm,
Ah.
it's not a cheap thing.
Oh.
So much more money sinks in this game.
Ah.
Just go
Ah.
bash up some taluses, I guess.
Not a bad idea. Go batch up some taluses or go try to find some caves in Elden. They're
That's what
usually gonna
I
be pretty
did.
mineral rich.
When I needed a lot of cash, in the first game, I would just find a place where taluses would respawn freaking and then beat them up, and then took the gems over to the one Gyarados that does all the trading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is one Gerudo in Gorona City that she will buy 10 gems from you at a time with a 10% markup.
Yeah.
But she will ask for a random 10 gems, and she will not change her selection until you sell her those 10 gems.
Right.
So she's just like, I want diamonds. You're gonna
Yeah.
either sell her 10 diamonds, or she's just gonna keep asking for diamonds for forever.
And sometimes it's a crapshoot, but I mean, you know.
And it's still only a 10% markup. I think I did it once because she has a side quest for it, and then I just stopped because it was not worth it.
This wasn't fair. Fair enough.
Because it's like she'll ask for diamonds, and I'm just like, I don't want to go farm specifically diamonds. I just want to sell you some of these like 60 sapphires I have. Jarkon says, is there a way to cheese cash in this game? Like
Probably.
the snowball minigame? I've not found any of the minigames to be as rewarding as that was. Because that was like a 10 rupee or 30 rupee pay-in, and you got paid 300 rupees if you got a strike. And you could get a strike perfectly every time if you did the lineup correctly. Like the most I've seen these things pay out is like a rupee. None of them just give you like 300 rupees. Alright,
Let's
next
see.
thing could be... You can either go back to Hateno and do CC and
Yeah.
Ron's quest, or you could do depths. You have a couple of markers in the depths for where some treasures are.
Let's go back to Hateno so I can actually try to finish that. Hateno is there.
Yeah, you need to give some more mushrooms out to the unfashionable people, and then figure out what CC's secret is. And then I don't know if you have it yet, but you also need to find out what Ron's secret is.
Let's see. I am looking for unfashionable people. I don't think he counts.
Back on, beat me to this.
Rond? I forget what his name is. I think it's like Rhonde.
Ronson?
It's not Ron's son. It's just Rond or Rand, something like that.
Duran?
Yes, Rand or Rand.
That's me. Suspicious. I'm not suspicious.
We're at the forefronts of fashion. God, that reminds me of my sister thinking that there was a rock band. She kept thinking the band Foreigner was called Four Nerds. And my parents laughed at that. They're like, "You're not wrong."
That's great.
Anybody in here I can talk to? Political canvassing.
You know, Link doesn't look suspicious. He actually has like this like childlike expression, but like he acts kind of suspicious. You know, you see him like going around doing what he does, you'd probably start to wonder.
Oh. Mm. Oh.
I have a Hylian shroom. I'm gonna go through, visit every single house systematically to make sure I've given one to everybody.
Very thoughtful.
How many have I gotten so far? There are 4 left. Fashionable, fashionable.
Yeah. Go butter.
I always need more butter.
I always need the butter. Milk? Are we in heaven?
All that milk and no cookies.
Now I want to cook.
Is there anybody upstairs? No. CC's. I don't think anybody's actually in there.
Sorry.
Oh, excuse me one second. I'll be right back.
Photograph of a choo-choo. Is there anyone out here? Anyone?
Oh. Ah. Oh.
Have a Hylian shroom.
Ah.
And there's a well here. Oh look, a choo-choo.
Oh, look. A choo-choo. Goo-goo-goo-choo. Felix says, Rick, while you're dealing shrooms. You're the one who keeps poking us to go do the Hateno quest, Frederick.
Rock salt. He's guarding a lot of them.
Chris Phyllis has never seen someone with so few bombs. But really? But how many bombs did the normal people in your life have? Because if it's more than 0, that's concerning.
If I have bombs, I use them. There we go.
Yeah, action shot. Arcus Fellow says, I'm gonna love it if they make it upside down too. Have I got some good news for you? They make them the same pose as the photo, and then like the bounding box for them is shaped in such a way that they keep wanting to like rotate back in that position. So even if you take the Horoblin and flip it over so it's on all fours, it would literally just rotate over and go back to being like on its snout if you just lay it on the ground.
This cave system is a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
Was this the cave or is this just a well?
It's just a well. That's a
Yeah.
thing. I come loop back around.
Frederick says, of course, they always make it in the same pose as the photo, which means you can fill up the stage with sensually flexing Lionels. I'm gonna give you several bops for that, Frederick.
Back.
We were all thinking it. I wasn't thinking it. I don't have any Lionels on my stage.
What were you thinking of?
Federic wants to take the thing where you're making like statues of monsters and fill it up with, as he calls it, centrally flexing Lionels. Look, I have like 3 Gleeoks on my stage, and that's what I think is cool, okay? And they're all in the middle of like flying around and roaring and stuff, and it looks awesome. You're weird, Miller. I'm not weird. I just like twinks more than hunks.
You know, I'm kind of with you on that one. I mean, I appreciate all types, but you know,
fill up the gallery in my house with pictures of Link in that zappy zap armor, and good to go.
you mean the rubber suit, right?
No,
Whatever. They're the right. That's the thing.
no,
right?
not the rubber suit. The one
You
that
said the
gives you
zappy.
the yes, the one that gives you like attack power in electric weather. The one we were wearing when we unlocked the Thunder Plateau or whatever it was.
I think I've gotten lost in these caves.
He's like, I don't like that skin tight rubber armor. That's not what I'm into.
I'm not
Okay.
into that. I'm
I know,
not
I'm
a
giving
rubber
you shit.
latex person.
Village West Well. There's several wells in this village, and they're all connected apparently.
Yep. There's at least one for each cardinal direction, and then there's one more.
Okay, there's that. Like,
Like what?
Like that. Like,
Like,
totally.
no. Marcus Wallace says Miller's own personal Puritan. Really? Of the kind of stuff I've talked about on this stream, you call me that? I said it's not for me, and now I said nobody could have it.
If you can't have it, no one can.
If I don't like the thing, then nobody gets to like it. Because my opinion is perfect, because that's a thing
God.
opinions can be, is
Oh.
factually correct.
Oh, God.
Donkey. Why can't I get a donkey?
Yeah, you can you? There's no donkeys that don't have a giant pack on them. Hate that note says that. Let this
What?
place be a place of rest for travelers passing through. And you can't fucking use the beds in this place to rest.
Cool.
Why?
Bed bugs.
Yeah.
Well, then
bet.
why add that second page to the book? Just say, hey, we're in Lurelin. Bye. Like,
Is
that's
it-
it. Why did they add the second thing of let this house be used for travelers, and then you can't use it?
They're doing it to taunt you. Because dicks.
Um,
Oh, jeez. Wish Joker was here. I just found out just now that the 2012 Turtles had Dracula in it. Wow. Well, sometimes we need those.
Okay, so he's saying there's 2 more people on his farm that are like him.
Wow, really? 3 acorns for milk?
Yeah. Which means you can have vegan milk, because you can get now, I guess, acorn milk or nut milk.
Ugh. Acorn
Ugh.
milk? Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean, that's my headcanon at least, is that if you want to play a vegan Link, you can still use milk, because you're trading nuts to make, nut milk with it.
Then he can get
I thought
vegan
he
powers.
said that he was using it for the feed.
Yeah,
Don't mess with Miller's headcanon, Brick.
Sorry. Obviously, he's making acorn milk.
What's with that blank stare? Oh, you always make that face. Always.
Always.
Arcusville says he's milking all those acorns himself by hand. Yeah, you really got to squeeze those suckers.
Gotta squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull.
Anyone else out here?
So there's an old man. And then Keon, the girl you just talked to, she could also take a mushroom, I think.
I did give her one.
Oh, okay.
I'm not allowed to pick it up.
I mean, not with your teeth.
Gotta get that letter.
Gotta get that letter in the water. Hey!
Sorry, I hope you don't mind me cutting down your trees.
I mean, they're ranchers. They probably think that's a great service you're doing them.
New specialty with Mayor cheese fermentation.
Mayor
Ah,
McCheese.
Mayor McCheese.
Mary McCheese?
Hmm?
Mayor McCheese.
I can't look at it without seeing that.
Hey.
Take a look at this.
Just take a look at this.
Da 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 da.
Dano cheese. Actually, it's pretty good. Oh, dang. What are you going to make with that?
Hmm?
It was ahead of its time. You needed to have more people lose their lactose intolerance.
Ah.
Now she just made a crap ton of cheese wheels.
$20 each.
Oh, there's the old man. Oh, there you go.
Pizza recipe, for which I still need wheat. Let's see, since I still need to waste a tiny bit of time, let me pop over to Bantha for a little bit.
Oh, Rick, we just hit midnight.
Yes, I'm going to make
Yeah.
pizza first.
Oh,
Pizza.
yeah. That's
At this
now
time
you're
of night?
talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Have
got
to
to
make
To
pizza.
village to buy some wheat. Maybe pick up some like sugar or butter or something while you're also there.
Ooh. Let's see. For pizza? They have tomatoes in this game?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, tomatoes
That's
and
what they do, of
cheese
course
are
they
two
do.
new things in this game.
Yeah.
And so pizza's a thing you can make now.
Maybe some of those herbs.
I'm sad to say you cannot top your pizza in any way that the game recognizes.
Oh.
You have pizza and that's it.
Yeah.
You cannot make like a meat pizza or a veggie pizza or a supreme pizza or anything like that.
Fed says, yes, make pizza. Only make pizza from now on. Yes, I mean, forget about canon. Let's just make pizza.
Game's now about starting a pizzeria in Hyrule.
But what if it is, Rick?
Actually, another quest line you can do in Hateno Village that allow you to start a farm.
Wheat.
The next tower you have to ascend is a pizza tower.
Oh no, Rick, your map's not complete. You still have one more. It's the pizza tower?
See, now I'm picturing Link making that face. Might have to draw that.
Yeah, he doesn't make that
Yeah,
face,
do
but
not
it's
need
like
this
the animation Peppino has when he's like scrambling up the side of something, but it's like scrambling up the side of a cliff. Oh, that's the store right there, I think.
I don't need anything at the store.
You need the wheat. Oh no, you already got wheat.
I already got wheat. Might want to pick up some more sugar though.
Mm.
Ah. Huh?
Do not know where to get sugar.
I think you can only get it from stores. It's like cheese and milk and oil jars where you can only get them from
There's the
NPCs.
And Sergal and tomat. Italian tomato pizza.
Yes.
There we go.
And,
Yay! Pizza %.
Pizza percent.
pizza
It almost
percent
sounds-
complete.
It
Thanks
almost-
everybody
I'm telling you.
with our pizza percent speed run.
I knew it. Rick was here for the pizza all along.
There might actually be an interesting like mini speed run of this game. Because you have to get wheat from Tabantha and then you have to get cheese from Hateno. So you do kind of like cross the whole map from one corner to the opposite corner.
Nice. Just hauling ass for pizza.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Who will it be tonight?
Turtles. Crossover episode.
Oh, you know what? Let's rate Slush Dog. They're going. They're playing Super Mario Galaxy. What do you say, Rick?
Slush.
Slush. The dog.
Slush.
Excellent.
Slush.
Slush.
Slush. Let's just keep saying Slush.
Raid.
Slush. Slush.
Raid.
Okay. Anyway, we'll catch you next time for more Zelda and maybe more pizza.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Good
Yep.
night,
Have your pizza and
everybody.
have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.